Tomoichi Murayama becomes the first former Japanese prime minister to meet with Korean comfort women on a visit this week. The ruling Saenuri Party is readying a candidate to challenge Seoul Mayor Park Won-soon, who's announced his bid for a second term. And Korea is competing on the world stage to bring so-called born global firms to its shores. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, February 12th. I'm Luke Clary. Former Japanese Prime Minister Tomoichi Murayama met with Korean comfort women on a visit to Korea. He's the first among former and incumbent Japanese prime ministers to do so.
Former Japanese Prime Minister Tomoichi Murayama is in Korea for a 3-day visit. He first stopped by the National Assembly Exhibition Hall. He was invited by the Justice Party, which also recommended that he take a look at the works and memorabilia of Korean victims of Japanese sex slavery. While meeting with 3 former comfort women, Murayama occasionally spoke Korean and wished them good health. But Murayama didn't give a clear answer on a lady's demand for a compensation from Japan. They presented Murayama with a work of art made by comfort woman Kim Sung-deok, who passed away in 2004. Murayama is the first among former incumbent Japanese prime ministers to meet with Korean women who were forced into sex slavery by the Japanese soldiers. While serving as prime minister, Murayama apologized for the Japanese colonial rule. Today, he gave a lecture on the reestablishment of Korea-Japan ties, and tomorrow he is to meet with Prime Minister Chung Hong-won.
This week saw the appeal trials for corporate chiefs Hanwha Chairman Kim Sung-yeon and LIG Chairman Koo Cha-won. The court handed down suspended prison terms for both.
Hanwha Group Chairman Kim Sung-yeon received a suspended prison sentence at a retrial held Tuesday. The Seoul High Court commuted the previous sentence to 3 years in prison with a 5-year probation period. He was also slapped with fines amounting to $4.8 million. Kim was indicted without detention in 2011 on charges of inflicting loss to his company by unjustly aiding insolvent affiliates. In the first trial, he was sentenced to 4 years in prison and a $4.8 million fine. In the retrial, he received a 3-year sentence. The court said it took into consideration the $140 million Kim donated in efforts to recover the loss and also his poor health. Kim was in prison in January last year, but 4 months later, his sentence was suspended over his health, for which he's been receiving treatment. A suspended sentence was also given to LIG Chairman Koo Cha-won in a trial at an appellate court on Tuesday. The Seoul High Court sentenced him to 3 years with a 5-year probation. His first son, Koo Bon-sang, vice chief of LIG Next One, also saw his sentence reduced from 8 to 4 years. But Kim's second son, Koo Bon-yup, former vice president of LIG Engineering and Construction, was sentenced to 3 years behind bars while he was found not guilty in the first trial. The father and sons were indicted on charges for the fraudulent issuance of some $187 million worth of corporate bonds in an attempt to retrieve stakes in the group's subsidiaries, despite knowledge of the firm being on the verge of going under court receivership.
Companies that target the global market from their startup stage are considered born global. These companies can set up shop anywhere in the globe, so countries like Korea are competing to bring born global firms to their shores.
Jason Lee started a mobile application business in Korea a year ago and recently expanded his venture. He resolved his residency issue and was issued a startup visa, which was introduced only last year.
외국인 신분이라서 그 해외에 3개월 동안 이제 왔다 갔다 하면서 상당히 불편한 점이 있었고 이제 받고 나서는 사실 거의 이쪽 비즈니스에만 제가 몰두를 하고 있고.
This engineer from Belgium first came to Korea to study the Korean language, but fell in love with the country and decided to start a company producing equipment for machine inspections.
Corée nous attirait plus parce que par rapport à notre business, le Japon est déjà un peu trop développé et la Chine c'est l'opposé et donc c'était très stratégique.
Some 83,000 foreign students are residing in Korea. The government will provide as much as $47,000 in seed money to aid foreigners starting a business in Korea.
Contribute to Korea in a view to stimulate innovation, create jobs, and create wealth for the nation.
The government believes if jobs can be created through business, there's no reason to discriminate against foreigners versus Korean nationals and venture startups. By 2017, Seoul also seeks to recruit 36,000 foreign talents who will launch technology business in Korea.
Ahead of the first full moon of the lunar year, prices for grains and nuts have sharply fallen over last year. The year's first full moon celebrations will be exceptionally abundant thanks to last year's bumper crop.
An array of nuts, including walnuts and chestnuts, is on display at a supermarket. Koreans traditionally eat nuts on the first full moon of the Lunar New Year. To prepare another full moon dish, customers also line up at the rice and grain section to buy glutinous rice, sorghum, and millet.
보름도 되고 해서 가족들 건강 생각해서 잡곡밥도 해먹고 부름도 해먹을 생각으로 왔습니다.
This year, grain and nut prices are considerably down, which bodes well for a plentiful holiday. At this retailer, a bag of an assortment of grains cost between $9 and $13 last year. This year, it's less than half at about $5.60. Prices of walnuts, chestnuts, and peanuts are also 15 to 20% cheaper than last year's prices. With the exception of brackens, most seasonal herbs are also priced at affordable levels.
작년에 태풍이 없었고 고온이었던 관계로 작황이 좋아서 견과나 부럼 세트, 잡곡류가 예년보다 가격이 저렴해진 경향이 있습니다.
Nuts in particular are increasingly viewed as a health food, and the imported kinds, such as almonds, cashews, and mixed nuts, are also seeing increased sales. On the day of the first full moon of the Lunar New Year, people wish for health and prosperity. Abundant food preparations, thanks to the lowered costs, are raising hopes for a bountiful year.
The ruling Saenuri Party candidates for the post of Seoul Mayor are vying for the chance to unseat incumbent Seoul Mayor Park Won-soon, who's announced his bid for a second term.
Saenuri Party Supreme Council member Lee Hae-hoon has announced her bid to run for Seoul Mayor. She stressed her expertise in economics.
서울 시민 여러분들께 새로운 보고를 드리겠습니다. 저 이혜훈 서울시장 출마를 공식 선언합니다.
Former Prime Minister Kim Hwang-sik has left for the United States to mull the party's offer to run for Seoul Mayor.
새누리당의 선거 전략에 차질이 없도록 이렇게 되도록이면 빠른 시간 내에 결정을 하도록 할 생각입니다.
Representative Chung Mong-jun, who is highly likely to run for Seoul Mayor, criticized the internal conflict in his party.
친박이다 뭐 이런 표현을 쓰는데 저는 아주 안 좋은 표현이라고 생각하죠. 우리 당에 부담이 되는.
Meanwhile, independent lawmaker An Chol-soo and his New Politics Promotion Committee outlined the three core values of New Politics, which are justice, unity, and peace on the Korean Peninsula. They also added that they're considering implementing the recall vote and people's initiative to let the public oust troubled lawmakers and propose legislative bills.
Snow clearing efforts are in full swing on the east coast of Korea, hard hit by recent snowfall. Volunteers and soldiers are helping the locals restore their daily lives.
The door to the house is hard to find because of the giant pile of snow. Thanks to the hard work of volunteers, the path leading to the house is cleared in no time. A greenhouse that was built recently has collapsed. The volunteers are helping the locals clean up the mess left by the heavy snowfall.
잘 모르겠어요. 몇 시간 했는지. 누군가가 해줘야 되는 거고 다 같이 해야 되는 거니까 어쩔 수 없어서 해야 되지.
Some 20,000 soldiers were dispatched to the snow-ravaged areas to lend a helping hand.
이번에 폭설로 인해서 고통받고 있는 주민들을 도와주기 위해서 저희가 이렇게 나왔습니다. 했던 것보다 훨씬 더 많은 피해를 받고 계신 것 같고.
It takes a while to get rid of the massive piles of snow. Although it has stopped snowing, reports of damage continue to pour in. The record snowfall has destroyed 210 facilities nationwide, including farms. The estimated amount of damage exceeds $3.7 million. Authorities are still grasping the scope of damage on Korea's east coast. The residents remain on high alert as more snow is expected tonight.
Cool Kids on the Block is a hugely popular sports entertainment show on KBS. The show's stars have traveled to Sochi, Russia to deliver the latest news and inside stories from the Olympics.
Sports variety show Cool Kids on the Block teaches people about sportsmanship and the spirit of challenge by competing in various sports. The show's cast, led by Kang Ho-dong, has arrived in Sochi, Russia. These celebrities are there to deliver all the latest news and inside buzz from the Olympic events in a way that is both entertaining and moving. Kang Ho-dong tries his hand at being a sportscaster, and comedian Park Sung-ho works as a reporter and takes part in news production.
특별히 준비하신 세레모니라든가 그런 것들 좀 있나요?
아니요, 그런 건 없고요.
The athletes at the Olympics are all striving to do their best. So the other members of Cool Kids on the Block are trying to do the same by introducing the athletes who are at the top of their game.
동계올림픽의 그 아름다운 영상이 소치에서 시작돼서 대한민국으로 다 전달되는구나. 그 낱낱이 과정을 재미나게 쉽게 여러분들에게 전달하도록 노력하겠습니다.
These entertainers' presence in Sochi is adding a fun spin to the fast and accurate coverage of the Olympic Games. The viewers in Korea now have more ways to enjoy the world-class performances at the Olympics.
Cooking oil is indispensable in the kitchen. There's a wide variety of oils on the market, from sesame oil to olive oil and canola oil. Well, here are some tips to make the best use of your oil.
The smell of fresh sesame oil is mouth-watering. Many customers purchase sesame oil fresh, directly pressed at the oil makers. What is the best sesame oil?
연한 갈색빛이 나는 참깨가 제일 좋습니다. 이 색깔이 검은 거는 깨를 좀 많이 볶아 왔기 때문에 처음에 고소할지 모르지만 끝맛에 쓸 수가 있어요.
Homemakers make Korean foods. Using cooking oil appropriately can be the key to the success of your cooking. A homemaker goes to buy cooking oil at a supermarket. In the past, soybean oil was just about the only cooking oil available at stores. But now, a wide range of cooking oil products sit on the shelves. What is your choice? This homemaker bought 2 different bottles of cooking oil, canola and olive. Back at home, she still has a problem to solve.
좋은 기름을 2개를 샀어요. 근데 전을 구울 때 어떤 게 더 좋을까? 그게 또 고민되네요.
You should fry foods quickly to prevent them from burning. We conducted a test to find which one is better for making fried snacks. Preheat the frying pans on high heat for a minute. Put canola oil and olive oil in each of the pans. Cook meatballs in the 2 different oils for 30 seconds. The meatball cooked in olive oil was burned just a little.
기름은 가열하면 연기가 나기 시작하는 발연점이 높을수록 전이나 튀김 요리에 적합합니다. 참기름은 160도로 가장 낮고 올리브유는 170에서 190도, 콩기름은 210도, 까놀라유는 250도로 가장 높은 편에 속합니다. 오랜 동안 가열해야 하는 전인 경우는 까놀라유나 콩기름으로 부치는 것이 좋습니다.
Oils of sesame, perilla, and olive are good for making salad or other vegetable dishes. Soybean and grapeseed oil is good for stir-frying. Canola oil is good for frying. Here are recipes to make healthy foods using oil.
소화 기능이 약하신 노인분들께서 갑자기 기름진 음식을 많이 드시게 되면 위에 부담이 가실 수가 있으세요. 그렇기 때문에 명절에도 서양 요리를 드시는 것처럼 식사 전에 샐러드를 먼저 드시게 되면 위에 부담도 덜어질 수 있고 과식도 막을 수가 있겠죠?
Olive oil is the main ingredient of Oriental dressing. Mix the oil with soy sauce, vinegar, and sugar. Oriental dressing is the perfect match with a salad of vegetable sprouts and soft tofu. It does look good and fresh. To make traditional Korean fried foods called jeon, use canola and sesame oil together to reduce calories. Mix canola oil with sesame oil by the rate of 5:1. Fried vegetables made with the mixed oil smell better and are lower on calories. After making jeon, some oil is left over in the pan. Is it okay to reuse the oil?
가정에서 조리하고 남았던 기름은 하루 정도는 더 사용해도 별 문제는 없습니다. 그러나 여러 번 사용을 하게 되면 트랜스 지방이 생기기 때문에 튀김에 사용했던 기름은 한번 걸러서 빠른 시일 내에 사용하시는 게 좋겠죠.
Oil is often pointed to as an unhealthy, high-calorie ingredient that you'd better avoid. However, oil boosts the taste of your foods without causing serious repercussions to your health if used in a smart way.
Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. We'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Have a great day.